All right, we're gonna try a live stream real quick. It's midnight, perfect time to start a repair. This is a rush job that is here for iPhone 6s Plus, and it has no touch. So we think of touch disease and we think of iPhone 6, and the 6s can also have no touch. The touch ICs are on the screen, so we have to dig a little deeper to figure out why a 6s or 6s Plus has no touch. So let's dig into it. I'm going to check to see if this stream is actually working. Looks like it is. I don't know if you can hear me though. Probably. All right, we will get started. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at this 6s Plus. The note just says that a guy's in a big hurry, so I got to get it done tonight. We're in the middle of school week here, and digitizer in op, tried new screens. All right, so wow, that's pretty funny. This is here from CPR, and all the people at the course are also here from CPR. They should probably fix this tomorrow morning. Probably would have been a good idea. If I had read that 5 minutes ago, I would not be making this stream. Okay, let's take a look under the microscope at this iPhone 6s Plus and figure out why it doesn't have touch. All right, here it is. Battery's disconnected, and we're gonna look here by the digitizer connector. And there is a bunch of missing dudes there. And I think it's important, I point this out in the course, that when you see the rounded pads like that, those are no stuff. That means nothing was ever there. People get confused by this a lot. If you think about how these boards are made, a bare board is kind of screened with paste, and then the components are stuffed on top of the paste, and then the whole thing goes into an oven, which automatically solders everything down. And some components are sort of omitted from the design and left off or not stuffed onto the board, but the paste is still there. So when it goes into the oven, the paste will bead up, and that leaves us with these little rounded looking spots like that. So those are all no stuff. Now if you're a heavy user of ZXW tool, you can get tripped up by these, because ZXW is just an interpretation of anything on the schematic, and it doesn't care about things like no stuff, so it'll tell you something's there. So you always want to check a known good board or the schematic itself and not rely too much on ZXW. All right, so let's first look and see what these guys do and whether or not we think they would be important for touch. So it looks like we're missing, we've got four caps in a row, and then we have two components near the connector, then two no stuffs, and then we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dudes. So let's look on the schematic. Hopefully you can look on the schematic with me. Let's see if you can. We'll go to screen and schematic. Hopefully you guys will be able to see that. You never really know. All right, so here we are at the schematic. I don't know if you can see this or not. This is the touch connector here on the 6s Plus, and we can look on here and kind of guess what some things do. I see a lot of image lines over here on the left, and those are going to be image data. I see power for backlight. I see the backlight anode number 1, backlight anode number 2, the return cathodes for each of those backlight lines, so that's not important for touch. Image data is not important for touch. And then I see some power lines here for both image and touch. Those are on the opposite side of the connector. And then over here, I see a shit ton of data lines. And if you look at them, touch to AL, I2C touch, touch clock, touch to proximity sensor, CPU to touch reset. This is a lot of stuff that has to do with enabling touch at sort of a data level. So we need to have those lines actually make it through the connector. So if we pick one that seems like it's kind of in the range of our missing components, let's just pick this one, this SPI AP for application processor. So the CPU to touch clock line. Let's hit copy and let's follow that. And it goes here to a filter, FL4251. So that filter is a drawbridge, and if you washed it out by knocking it off the board, then you're not going to have communication through this line. You're not going to have communication from the CPU through the connector to the screen. So that would definitely be a problem, as would the loss of any of these. This is CPU to touch interface. So if you lost any one of those, you probably wouldn't have touch. And my guess is that these guys, at least some of them, are going to be one in our missing set of 6. So FL 4250, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, they're all important. So let's go back to ZXW. Hopefully you can follow me back to ZXW. I don't know if that's going to work or not either. And let's see what's missing. So we've got our 4 in a row, and then we have 2 that are present, 2 that are no stuff. And here ZXW doesn't make a distinction between no stuff and a regular component. And here 4251, that's one of them. So that guy's got to be there. This is a cap. Cap's probably optional. Here's another cap. Now here's 4241, a filter for touch to proximity, front cam enable. This is another one. That's definitely going to be important. CPU to touch reset. Here's another one that's a filter. Touch, 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 touch. All right, so this job is pretty clear. We need to put those guys back if we want to have functioning touch. Let me check in and see if this stream looks like it's working or not. Oh, good. You can see the, you can see this. Hey, Lewis is up. You're supposed to be in bed. Okay, so let's put him back on here and see if we can get this thing to work. All right, so if it wasn't super late, I would go look up each one of these and find a match on, you know, a common donor board like iPhone 6, but I'm too lazy for that because it is midnight, and so I'm going to just take my 1/6S Plus donor board that I have and just transfer these dudes over to make this an easy breezy CoverGirl repair. All right. So in order to get any kind of component to sit down, you have to make puffy pillows. So we got to make some puffy pillows here, or else these guys will never stick. We talked about that in the course today, where we're doing a lot of good work with the folks at CPR and getting them to understand things like you can't reflow touch ICs. And one of the challenges I gave one of the guys was, you know, he's like, well, why not? And so I told him to look at a set of pads that would be like this, especially ones that are kind of like gray and oxidized. And I told him, you can reflow, for the rest of your life, you can reflow touch ICs if you can use flux and hot air to get a little dude to stick on some of these oxidized pads. And he said, well, that's impossible. They're not going to stick. That's right. And so he got it. So now he understands why something like reflowing a chip is not going to work. Like this pad right here that I'm working on, it's a little bit gray. It's not going to accept, it's not going to make a joint unless you come by here and make it a puffy pillow. All right, shiny puffy pillows look good. So let's start transferring over some stuff, and hopefully we can get out of here in like 15 minutes. That would be fantastic, since I've been up since 4:45 in the morning, and it is getting late, and I have to teach tomorrow. All right, so let's start. We're gonna do 1, 2, no stuff, and then we're gonna start with that one. So we'll come over here to donor board, and we'll just start moving them over. All right, so we'll take the first one. Let's see, which of these tweezers are the least fucked up? These guys from CPR are all from South Carolina. They've been yes-mamming me all week. So I've been trying to break them of that habit. We don't say yes, ma'am in New York. Oh man, it's late. Look how bad I am at this. Get on there, you asshole. Fuck. 1. Next. Man, you can really feel the tiredness when you start trying to do something super detailed like this. 2. This is the cap. You can really feel that ground. Move him over. And how hairy these tweezers are. Really don't want to jack up this connector. Lay down. I think I'm going to have to get my non-magnetic tweezers. These ones are just not going to work. 2. All right, number 3. Thank God for this donor board. I'm way too tired to go look these guys up. These tweezers are actually 2 days old. Can you believe that? Look at what shit these are now. I got the ones that were non-magnetic, which means they really can't be heated at all. Three. Let's get number 4. Let's grab number 5, and then we'll just make it look professional with some hot air at the end. 5. And 6. All right. Now let's get some hot air and make this not look ridiculous. I lost the tip to my JBC, which sucked, for like a whole week. It fell into the 5S test housing bucket. All right, whenever you're putting hot air on a board, you have to kind of look around and say, who's going to be bothered by heat? And the answer is probably nobody, but I'm going to pull up this little connector just in case and tape him away. I almost got a taker this week in the course. One of the things I hate about people learning BGA is this sort of misconception that you need to kind of Captain tape off like a surgical area and just cut out like one tiny little notch where you're working, and that is, entirely not necessary and actually is counterproductive. It ends up making it so that you have to add more heat because you have less airflow when you do that. And so I usually use this example where I ask somebody who's going to let me put a piece of Captain tape on your finger and come up and let me shine some hot air on it. And everybody says no. This week one guy was like, okay. And I was like, dude, it's a fucking piece of tape. And he was like, oh, okay, I see the point. Alright, they're all on there now. Let's clean them up so that they look less like a cat shit on them. Oh man, it is late. I need to be in bed. All right. Now, hopefully we've replaced all the filters that we need for touch, and hopefully that is the only reason why this screen didn't have touch. I think I'm going to use one of my known good screens before I come back to his screen, since he might have had a screen problem all along and then ended up creating this defect by troubleshooting it. So let's figure that out. Now let's come back to the camera and we will give it a try. And let's check, let's click over and see if this live stream is even working. Looks like it. What is in these comments? Working, we can hear. It's Grandma. Learn something every time. Check in from Toronto. Hello. What up, Raj? Fix anything? Fix anything lately? I have to wake up, and I live in the same time zone. Yeah, that's bad. Why do you get the easy stuff? Yeah. Yeah. I cherry picked this, Lewis. This is. I've got a huge shit pile here. Look at this whole, this is all the shit pile. That's the shit pile. That's the stuff I'm not doing. All right, let's see. Wait, are you live? I'm gonna click over. Trolling a live video while doing a live video. That would be fun. All right, reading comments. Why the fuck is CPR out? You should see some of the stuff here. One of the guys at CPR asked me, I don't think I told you this, he asked me, he's got a iPad mini over there that has a charge port that's like folded in half, and he was like, can this be replaced? iPad mini charge port. Yep, it is. This week is going great. They are fixing a ton of stuff. She did a TriStar today. He fixed a TriStar. This guy was able to fix his own personal iPad Air that had a short on the backlight line with a cracked cap. He found it. I mean, they're learning tons. They are doing fantastic. You know, this guy fixed this whole row fixed 6S backlight. This guy fixed all on his own. He solved a VCC main short water damage board. This guy fixed a BSOD today. That guy fixed a 5S BSOD with trace repair. This guy fixed one by figuring out the proximity. I kind of led him to looking at the front flex area, and he was able to find a missing filter from water damage, which, because we know that 5S BSOD kind of starts sometimes with a bad ambient light sensor or proximity sensor, and he kind of figured all that out and got it fixed. So they're fixing a shit ton of stuff in here this week. So I gotta hand it to them. They have come an enormously long way here on Wednesday since Monday. So they're really doing good. I mean, I feel bad for these guys. These guys are just really like unplugged from the industry as a whole. Like they'd never heard the word TriStar before this morning. And then when we like kind of did the little rant about crappy chargers, you know, they were just like, wow, oh my God, we gotta check these chargers. Yep, yeah, you do. So they're just kind of like in their own little bubble. And it really makes you realize how dependent everyone is on the strength of the community and people talking to each other and sharing information and stuff like this. You know, how do you troubleshoot a 6S touch job? All right, let's see what happens. I'm gonna be pissed if this doesn't have touch. I don't think I have the energy to go troubleshooting that much more. CPR is a big American chain, yes. Who rips parts off the motherboard like that? Nobody does it on purpose. My phone repair. Are you in South Carolina? The Chipotle of cell phone repair. CPR trains with Wild PCS. Oh, I hope they're not on this live stream. Let's see. Yes, the Wild PCS, I Googled the other day, I Googled Wild PCS reviews, and the #1 hit was the kind of, you'd be an idiot to go to Wild PCS video that I did, so I thought that was awesome. The Donald Trump University of Board Level Repairs. Let's see. Is this the same camera you have, Lewis? Yeah, it is. I also got one of the $200 Chinese ones. It's over there, and we've been using it this week, and it's pretty good. It's not as good as this, but it's pretty good. What's really funny about the CPR guys is that, you know how everybody in every industry is like, you know, like, we're better than them, and you know, like everybody kind of has their expertise. These guys, you should hear them talk about the Solaris guys. No touch, some stops destroy filters. Yeah, I'm worried about, I am worried that this is not going to work. Press home to unlock. Yay, touch works. Nice lock screen. All right, let's go back to their screen and see if touch works on their screen. Yay, easy job. Love an easy rush job. Who doesn't love an easy rush job? Touch. No, come on. Don't troll me. There we go. All right, let's try their screen. It's going to suck if their 6S Plus screen itself doesn't work, but we'll see. It doesn't have a home button. Fantastic. So I also won't be able to unlock this phone either. Great. I'm proud of CPR. They've learned to stop, you know, they've learned to disconnect the batteries and everything. They're even joking about it, like, you know, today the girl over here was about to plug in a 5C screen with the battery connected, and I was like, nope. And she got it. Oh, great. I don't think that this screen is going to give us much info on touch. You got bigger fish to fry than that, buddy. All right, let's see if I can dig up a screen that has a home button. I don't know if I can. Let's see. This one has a low likelihood of working because it's water damaged, but we'll give it a try. And then the other guy was like, yeah, you can't put that screen on CPR style. That ship has sailed. A little bit better. Maybe this will work. All right, what else is on here? She does not read chat like Rossman. No, I don't know how he reads chat. That's like a total superpower. Which is the hot tweezer? Oh, where's the... Oh, look, Louis, somebody hopes you move to San Diego. Yeah, he's not going to go hiking with some guy from YouTube. Hi, Mario. Via email. Never heard of TriStar. Yes. Reading these. If an iPhone 6 has bend damage, is it automatically going to get touch IC failure? Probably. And also, it's going to get searching no service. Show your hot air station. There it is. This is getting really boring. Oh, somebody here from CPR? What kind of hot air gun are you using? I'm using the JBC. It's the best hot air station that $1,500 can buy. This is just shit. My 6S Plus screen stock is total crap. Oh, you got to the passcode. What's his passcode? I don't think it's going to work. And, oh, he gave us a passcode. Let's see. I had a really sad case in here. The phone I was working on for most of the night was found in a car accident, and the daughter is dead, and the phone was all water damaged and seriously beat up, and they found it a couple weeks later, so they sent it for recovery, and we're like, you're gonna have to know the passcode, and they said recover it anyway, so we did, and I like doctored it all up so that they could try to guess the passcode, but they were hoping to use the best friend's fingerprint, because they, you know, like besties shared the fingerprint sensor for each other's phone. So cute. And they, you know, they don't realize that it's going to require the passcode if it's been more than like a couple of days, or if the battery's been disconnected. And that screen doesn't work at all. Fantastic. All right, well, we're gonna go with touch works on the basis of the first screen. Touch worked. And put this back for reassembly. All that job done. Let me read this for a second and then we'll be out of here. Oh, look, hi, Stephen from CPR. You guys are doing great. They have learned an amazing amount of content in a very short time. They're all doing really well. But it was funny though, like one of these guys, like you kind of like get in this like kind of industry bubble after a while. So these guys, I pick them up on the Monday. And we drive over here to the course, and you know, everybody take a station, and about an hour in, one of the guys is like, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. And I'm like, what? He has absolutely, he never heard of me before, doesn't know who I am, and that was totally hilarious. Oh. Yeah, it is. I think it's great for everybody to, I think it's great for everybody in the industry to talk to each other, be plugged into each other, because the better these guys do, the better we all do. And you know, I think that it's fantastic, especially something like CPR. They have a big footprint. So, you know, we talked this week about the problem with the exposed backlight flex on the 6S and all the other phones. We talked about backlight circuit in detail, and the how you can get a short to ground with putting a screen on without disconnecting the battery. But then we also talked about how you can also get a short to ground if you plug in a phone that has an exposed backlight flex. So that would be a screen, like this one, and we kind of traced from the circuit through the connector and followed where backlight goes in the screen itself. And if you actually look at the connector under the microscope, you can see where the backlight lines go from the connector to the actual backlight flex on the board. And they knew that now there's 22 volts in that live backlight anode line, which is right next to ground. So if there is not a sticker here, then when you plug this into a frame, you might hand it back to the customer and it might be working, but as soon as they throw it on their bed, and if this live voltage shorts to the LCD, shield or any part of the frame, then you're going to blow the backlight. The 6S and 6S Plus are super sensitive to that. And I think something like, CPR that's buying just mega shit tons of screens all the time, they have a big enough footprint to say, hey, China, you got to do better. You can't be sending us screens with exposed backlight flexes, and then that problem will stop happening. All right, let me look back at this, and I think we're gonna call it a day. I'm exhausted. I got to teach tomorrow, and I just wanted to kind of share with you guys, if you do have a 6S or a 6S Plus that has no touch, then you need to go down your connector. You're going to have to dig to see all these guys because they're normally covered in underfill, like over here on the other side of the screen. Over here. And these are not 0201s, Lewis. These are the 1005. They're the super tiny ones. But these guys, if even just one of them is missing, that's a filter, that can totally take out touch, and that's the most common fault for no touch on a 6S. Other common faults would be if you lose a filter in one of these power lines that come in over here. So that's the other sort of troubleshooting that you can do on these phones. So look for that. It's real easy for technician damage to take out one of those guys, and all you need to do is put it back, and that's it. So let's call that a day, and I'm going to go to bed.